Have you ever found yourself wondering if she's really interested in you, or if it's all just in your head? It's in the little things, the way her questions linger, the way she looks at you as if she's searching for something more. What if I told you that hidden within her casual words lies an invitation, a whisper of something deeper? Today, we're uncovering the signs most men miss, the subtle questions that say, I want to know you, and maybe, just maybe, I want to be a part of your world. So lean in, because the way you notice these hints and how you respond might just change everything. Are you ready to see what's been right in front of you all along? Let's start with the first question. What's your favorite way to relax after a long day? At first glance, it sounds like a simple, casual inquiry. But if you pause for a moment, you'll realize it's much more than that. This question is her way of stepping into your world, trying to understand the rhythms of your life, and discovering what brings you peace. It's a subtle yet powerful invitation to open up and share a part of yourself. Think about it, when a woman asks this, she's not just curious about how you spend your evenings. She's testing the waters, looking for clues about the kind of man you are. Do you collapse on the couch with your phone in hand, scrolling mindlessly? Or do you have meaningful rituals, like a workout, a good book, or even cooking your favorite meal, that reflect a life of balance and intentionality? The way you answer can paint a vivid picture of your character and priorities. Imagine this scenario: it's been a tough day at work, and you're talking to her. She leans in and asks, so, how do you usually unwind after days like this? How would you respond? If you casually shrug and say, oh, I just do whatever, you might come across as unmotivated or disconnected from your own life. But what if you said something like this: after a long day, I usually hit the gym for an hour, it clears my mind and helps me stay focused. Then I like to cook myself something simple, maybe some pasta, and wind down with a few chapters of a good book. That kind of response shows discipline, self-care, and a sense of purpose. It communicates that you value your time and your well-being, and trust me, those qualities don't go unnoticed. Here's another example. Suppose you're someone who enjoys hiking. You might say, when I'm feeling drained, I love heading to the trails near my place. There's just something about being surrounded by nature that puts everything back into perspective. Not only does this give her a glimpse of what recharges you, but it also subtly sets the stage for a deeper connection. She might think, wow, I'd love to see that side of him someday, planting the seed for future shared experiences. But here's the catch: it's not just about impressing her. This question is also a chance for you to reflect. Are your habits truly aligned with the person you want to be? A high-value man, after all, is someone who leads a life of intention and purpose. He doesn't just drift through the days, he actively cultivates moments that bring joy, growth, and balance. Let me ask you this: if she asked you this question right now, would you be proud of your answer? Or would it make you realize it's time to rethink how you're spending your time? Take a moment to really think about it. The beauty of this question is that it gives you a chance to not only connect with her but also take a closer look at yourself. So, what's your answer? What's your favorite way to relax, and does it reflect the man you're striving to become? Now, let's dive into the second question: do you enjoy cooking or trying new restaurants? At first, this might sound like small talk, just another light-hearted way to keep the conversation going. But don't be fooled. When a woman asks you this, she's doing more than just filling silence. She's looking for common ground, shared experiences, and maybe even opportunities to create memories with you. This question is her way of saying, I'm curious about your tastes, your adventures, and how we might explore them together. Let's break it down. Imagine she asks you this while you're grabbing coffee or chatting after work. If you simply say, yeah, I like food, and leave it at that, the conversation dies on the spot. But if you take it as an opportunity to share something meaningful, you can transform this simple question into a gateway for connection. For instance, you might say, I actually love experimenting in the kitchen, there's something really satisfying about creating a meal from scratch. Last week, I tried making homemade pizza, and it turned out pretty great. That answer does three things. It shows personality, invites her to imagine you in a different setting, and leaves room for follow-up questions. Or maybe cooking isn't your thing, but you're an adventurous foodie who loves discovering new places. You could say, I'm more of a restaurant explorer. I have this habit of looking up the best hidden spots in town. There's this tiny sushi place I found recently. It's nothing fancy, but their rolls are incredible. Now you've just painted a picture of yourself as someone who's curious, well-rounded, and eager to share experiences. Here's the beauty of this question. It naturally opens the door for plans. If she responds with, I love sushi, or, that sounds amazing, I've been looking for new places to try, you've just found a shared interest that could turn into a future dinner date. And don't underestimate the power of food to build connection. It's universal, intimate, and often associated with some of the best memories we create. But let's take it one step further. Think about what this question reveals about her as well. If she's asking you, do you enjoy trying new restaurants? It might mean she's someone who values experiences and cherishes the little joys in life. She's not just asking what's on your plate, she's inviting you to share what excites you, what flavors bring you happiness, and maybe even how open you are to new adventures. Now, let me ask you, how would you answer this question if she asked you today? Would your answer make her think, wow, this guy is passionate about life, or would it leave her wondering if you have any sense of curiosity at all? Remember, a high-value man doesn't just consume, he experiences, he explores, and he shares. Whether it's the food you make or the places you go, your answer should reflect someone who's intentional about their choices. So, next time someone asks you this, don't just shrug it off. Use it as a chance to show her, and yourself, that you're a man who appreciates life's flavors, both on the plate and beyond. Now, what's your answer? Do you cook, explore, or both? And more importantly, are you making space for those experiences to connect with others? Let's take a moment to explore the question, do you believe in love at first sight? This isn't just a random philosophical inquiry, it's a subtle yet profound way for her to gauge how you view romance, connection, and emotional openness. When a woman asks this, she's not only curious about your beliefs but also wondering if there's a spark between you worth exploring. Think about what this question implies. She's testing the waters to see if you're the kind of man who believes in instant attraction or someone who values the slow build of a deeper connection. Your response can tell her a lot about how you approach relationships and whether your emotional mindset aligns with hers. Now, how should you answer? The key here is to be thoughtful and authentic. Let's look at a few examples. You might say, I think love at first sight is possible in the sense of feeling an instant connection. But I also believe real love takes time to grow, it's about understanding, trust, and shared experiences. This kind of response balances openness with maturity. It shows her that while you're open to the magic of connection, you also understand the depth required to sustain it. Alternatively, if you lean more toward the romantic side, you might say, I believe it can happen. Sometimes you meet someone, and there's this undeniable feeling, like you've known them forever. It's rare, but when it happens, it's unforgettable. This answer reveals a certain vulnerability and a willingness to embrace emotions, which can be incredibly appealing if she's looking for someone who's emotionally available. On the other hand, you could take a more practical approach. I think attraction at first sight is real, but love is something that grows over time. It's about how two people choose to show up for each other day after day. This shows that you're grounded and realistic while still leaving room for meaningful connections. What's important here is that your answer should reflect your genuine beliefs, not what you think she wants to hear. A high-value man doesn't bend his perspective to please others, he speaks from his own experiences and principles. And believe me, authenticity is far more attractive than any rehearsed line could ever be. But let's not forget, when she asks this question, she's also revealing something about herself. Maybe she's someone who cherishes the idea of serendipity and romance. Or perhaps she's trying to spark a deeper conversation about emotions and connections. Pay attention to her response, it can be just as telling as your own. So, let me ask you, what do you believe? Is love at first sight something you've experienced or dreamed of? Or do you see love as a journey that takes time and effort? Whatever your answer, let it reflect the man you are and the relationship you're looking for. Because ultimately, this isn't just about her question, it's about the kind of connection you're ready to create. Now, let's dive into the fourth question. What do you think makes a relationship truly great? This isn't just small talk. When a woman asks you this, she's not just fishing for your thoughts on love or partnership. She's trying to uncover your values, your emotional maturity, and whether you're someone who sees relationships as more than just a fleeting connection. It's her way of asking, are you someone who can build something meaningful with me? Think about it. This question holds weight. Your answer gives her a glimpse into the way you view the world and the people you choose to share it with. If you dismiss it casually with, I don't know, I guess it's just about getting along, you might come across as indifferent or lacking depth. But if you take a moment to respond thoughtfully, you have the opportunity to show her the kind of man you truly are. Let's look at an example. Imagine she asks, what makes a great relationship? You could say something like, for me, it's all about trust and growth. I think the best relationships are built on being able to rely on each other and helping one another become better versions of ourselves. That answer doesn't just convey emotional intelligence, it also shows her that you value progress and partnership. It tells her you're not just in it for the good times, you're willing to invest in something real and lasting. Or maybe you take a slightly different angle. You might say, a great relationship is one where both people can be themselves, fully and without judgment. It's about having someone who sees you for who you are and loves you anyway. This response speaks to vulnerability and authenticity, qualities that are rare and deeply meaningful. But here's the catch, your answer needs to come from a place of honesty. Don't just say what you think she wants to hear. A high-value man understands that authenticity is more important than pleasing others. Your perspective on relationships should reflect your core values and the kind of connection you truly want. Let me ask you this, have you ever stopped to think about what you believe makes a relationship great? Is it mutual respect? Shared values? Emotional support? Or maybe it's about a shared vision for the future. Whatever it is, make sure it aligns with the kind of life you're building. Because here's the truth, the way you view relationships reflects the way you view yourself. This question is also an opportunity for reflection. If your answer doesn't feel right, it might be time to ask yourself some deeper questions. Are your past relationships aligned with what you say you value? Are you ready to offer someone the same qualities you're looking for in them? And let's not forget, when she asks this question, she's also revealing something about herself. She's showing you that she values meaningful connections, that she's looking for something more than just surface-level attraction. And as a high-value man, it's your job to recognize that and respond with both respect and clarity. So, how would you answer this question right now? If you don't have an answer you're proud of, take this moment to start building one. Because a great relationship isn't something you find, it's something you create, step by step, with the right person. And it all starts with knowing what you stand for. Let's switch things up for this next question. What's your idea of a perfect day? Imagine this, you're in a relaxed conversation, and she casually throws this question your way. At first, it might seem like just a fun, hypothetical topic. But make no mistake, this isn't just about how you'd spend 24 hours. It's about your dreams, your values, and the kind of life you're striving to build. She's not just curious about your schedule, she's painting a picture of what it might feel like to share her life with you. Think about it, your perfect day says a lot about who you are. If you say, I don't know, just sleeping in and doing nothing, you risk coming across as unmotivated or indifferent to life's possibilities. But if your answer reflects passion, purpose, and balance, it shows her that you're someone who lives with intention. Let me give you an example. Imagine you respond with something like this, a perfect day for me starts early, maybe with a morning hike to watch the sunrise. After that, I'd spend a couple of hours working on something I'm passionate about, maybe a creative project or learning something new. In the afternoon, I'd meet up with close friends or family, share a good meal, and end the day relaxing with a book or watching a great movie. That kind of answer shows that you value growth, connection, and self-care. It tells her that you're someone who knows how to balance ambition with gratitude. Or maybe your idea of a perfect day is more adventurous. You might say, I'd love to explore a new city, trying local food, meeting interesting people, and getting lost in the streets just to see what I find. I think there's something magical about discovering the unknown. This kind of response shows curiosity, spontaneity, and a zest for life, qualities that are magnetic to the right person. Here's the thing, when you answer this question, don't just think about what sounds impressive. Think about what's true to you. A high-value man doesn't craft his life to fit someone else's expectations. Instead, he knows what fulfills him, and he invites others to share in that vision. Your perfect day should reflect your values and priorities, whether it's spending time with loved ones, working toward your goals, or simply finding peace in the little moments. But this isn't just about you. When she asks this question, it's also a window into her world. How she reacts to your answer tells you a lot about her values, too. If she lights up at the thought of adventure or resonates with the importance of family, it's a sign that your visions might align. Pay attention, because this question is as much about her as it is about you. Now, let me ask you, if someone asked you about your perfect day, could you describe it with clarity and passion? Or would you hesitate, unsure of what truly makes you happy? Take a moment to think about it, because this question isn't just about dreaming, it's about defining the life you want to create. And when you're clear on that, you'll not only attract the right people, but you'll also inspire them to dream alongside you. Let's bring it all together, gentlemen. These 5 questions. What's your favorite way to relax? Do you enjoy cooking or trying new restaurants? What makes a relationship great? What's your idea of a perfect day? And, do you believe in love at first sight? Are not just casual conversation starters. They're windows into deeper connections, opportunities to showcase who you are, and moments to reflect on the man you're becoming. When a woman asks you these questions, she's not just curious, she's inviting you to share a part of yourself, to show her what makes you unique. And as a high-value man, your answers should come from a place of authenticity, self-awareness, and purpose. This isn't about impressing her with grand stories or rehearsed lines. It's about being honest, intentional, and showing that you live a life worth sharing. But here's the real takeaway, these questions aren't just for her. They're also for you. They challenge you to think about your habits, your values, your dreams, and how you approach relationships. They're a mirror that reflects where you are now and where you want to go. So, if any of these questions make you pause or feel uncertain, take that as a sign, it's time to invest in yourself. Gentlemen, remember this, being a high-value man isn't about having all the answers, it's about being willing to ask yourself the tough questions and grow from the process. It's about building a life of intention, balance, and integrity, so that when someone steps into your world, they feel inspired to stay. So now I'll leave you with one final question. What's the one thing you'll do today to take a step closer to becoming the man you want to be? Think about it, write it down, and take action. Because the life you dream of doesn't just happen, it's built, one decision at a time. Until next time, stay focused, stay grounded, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself.